Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Gold, joining you on Friday. We are approaching the end of that weird week when everyone loses track of all days between Christmas and New Year's, and we are of course edging towards Arsenal returning to action at Brighton tomorrow night. Looking forward to that one. I will be there. I say looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to it as much as I tend to enjoy watching Arsenal versus Brighton, which isn't that much because they are a bit of a bogey team for Arsenal, but hopefully that changes tomorrow night at the Amex. Arsenal can get the job done, finish 2022 in the way probably you'd say their year deserves, because certainly, as I said yesterday, it's been very up and down with that very down bit in the middle at the end of last season, but on the whole, it's been a lot to enjoy in 2022, so hopefully Arsenal can finish it in fine fashion tomorrow. Maintain that 5-point lead going into the new year. Manchester City, of course, coming back and sort of clawing back some points, so to speak, on Arsenal with that victory at Leeds, which was expected, let's face it. But back to 5 points now, Arsenal's lead, but hopefully they can continue that. And I think we'd all have snatched your hands off if someone said at the start of the season Arsenal would go into 2023 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. But to do that, they're going to have to beat Brighton, something they do not often do. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video, talk about team news for that. There's other stuff to talk about. Folarin Balogun, 2 goals again last night. What a season he is having on loan. We'll have a little bit of a discussion on him. Latest on Mudryk. Martin Odegaard as well I want to talk about, because there's rumours doing around about him and Real Madrid, strangely enough. But I wanted to start today's video just very, very briefly talking about Pele, who of course, the sad news announced yesterday that the global superstar, the legend that is Pele, unfortunately passed away, losing his battle against cancer. And now I wasn't fortunate enough to see Pele. I can't sit here and pretend I'm some sort of Pele expert, because it was obviously before my time. But I mean, he was just someone who transcended sport, whose legend continued long after he'd retired, and gave so many people so much joy. And unfortunately, I wasn't there to watch it and to share in that joy at the time. But I've seen the videos. I've marvelled at his expertise, and he's just been this iconic figure for so long, who, whenever he's been anywhere, the swell of attention, everyone wants to get a part of him, and just an absolute legend of the game. Not the game, as I said, he's transcended football. He's gone beyond football. He's just a legend of worldwide stuff, beyond football. And so thoughts with Brazil, with Pele's family, with everyone who's mourning the loss of an absolute footballing icon. So thank you very much for the memories, Pele, and may you rest in peace. Okay, we'll talk about Martin Odegaard now, move on to Arsenal matters. And there's lots of stuff going on, lots of talk today. I was sort of just looking on the net, and there's just loads of stories about Martin Odegaard going back to Real Madrid. It seems to stem from reports, I think from Marca, it stemmed from, who have revealed that I think Madrid have some sort of buyback clause inserted in the deal. I don't know. I can't confirm if that's true or not, so I can't say that. But that's what's coming from Spain, is that they have some sort of first refusal clause on Martin Odegaard. Now, I wouldn't think this is anything to worry about, and it doesn't seem to be something that they can just trigger and sign him. That from my sort of perspective of reading the reports, it seems to be basically a first refusal clause. So if down the line Arsenal decide to sell Martin Odegaard, then Real Madrid can get first refusal. Think of when Arsenal sold Cesc Fabregas to Barcelona. They had a first refusal clause. So if Barcelona ever decided to sell Cesc, then Arsenal could have signed him back. They had first refusal to match whoever's offer came in, which of course happened because Chelsea came in for him. Arsenal did have the option of re-signing him at the same price that Real Madrid, that Chelsea was signing for, and Arsene Wenger said no because it just signed Mesut Ozil, and it didn't happen. He ended up going to Chelsea. So it appears to be that's what everyone's talking about. That's what all the reports about. So you'll see all the headlines are Real Madrid planning to re-sign Martin Odegaard and everything like that. I wouldn't be getting too worried about it. When you sort of delve into it a little bit more, it just seems to be some sort of first refusal clause. And he's only been here since last year permanently. He's still got a long-term contract. I wouldn't be getting worried. I mean, if anything, it just shows it highlights the great form that Martin Odegaard's in, that suddenly this is generating headlines, and people in Spain, reporters in Spain potentially, are taking notice of him, and maybe people at Madrid are thinking, why do we sell him? And what a bargain it's proved to be. I said it at the time, it was just a magnificent signing. Arsenal waited and waited that summer to get Odegaard. He was always a priority. They got it done at a fantastic price. It's just a brilliant piece of transfer business. It looked it at the time. It has proved it to be since. And I wouldn't be getting too worried thinking Madrid is going to Real Madrid. Look, they are sorting out their midfield at the moment. They've already got Tchouaméni. They've got Camavinga as well, of course. I think they're certainly going to be trying to get Bellingham in the summer. So I wouldn't be losing too much sleep over the fact. And if you're reading these reports this morning and seeing it, then if you sort of delve into it a little bit deeper, it just appears to be some sort of first refusal clause. And again, I can't confirm it because I don't know at the moment whether, if I ever find out, then I, of course, will tell you. But it just seems that's what the report from Spain seems to be. So I wouldn't be losing too much sleep over those headlines that you might be waking up seeing today. Okay, Folarin Balogun, what a season he is having. If you want the perfect example of a loan working well for all parties, just look at what he is doing this year in France. 2 more goals for him last night against Rennes, and I think it was a 3-1 win. He's now got 10 goals in 16 matches. He is up there alongside Kylian Mbappe in terms of top goal scorer. I think Mbappe's got 13 this season in Liga. Balogun's got 10. I think he's 4th in the top goal scorers. He's got 3 assists as well. Just a fantastic season. And as I said, this is the perfect example of a loan working well. I think when he went out, Mykhaylo Arteta said to him, I want you to learn to be a man. And Balogun, I think he gave quotes talking about that. And this appears to be working out exactly that. He had a good loan spell at Middlesbrough last season, the second half of the season, but he didn't score too many goals. He played well, he was very popular there, but he didn't score too many goals. He's sort of taken that on this season, I think, and as well as playing well, he's scoring goals, and he's going to come back in the summer a far, far better player. Look, I don't know if Balogun's going to be a success at Arsenal. I don't know if he's going to be here long term. I don't think anyone at the club probably knows that at the moment. That's a decision that we take him further down the line. But what this loan spell has done, it's made Balogun a miles better player. It's given him experience of a top flight league in Europe. It's given him a whole new experience of life, going abroad, living abroad, new language, etc., all that sort of stuff. And he's scoring goals. So whether he comes back, what it's going to do, if it means he moves into the first team and becomes, a key player for Mykhaylo Arteta and for Arsenal, fantastic. If not, what it's going to do is going to come back in the summer and potentially his value is going to be far, far higher than what it was before, and Arsenal are going to be able to move him on for big, big profit. Either way, whatever happens with it, it works. This is what the loan system is all about. This is what Arsenal are really trying to do when it comes to loans now. And this is a perfect example of it happening. Charlie Patino is another success story when it comes to loans this season. But Balogun especially, it's just one of those loans you look at and think, yeah, this is absolutely worked out well for all parties. That's why I was talking before that Arsenal would have the option of potentially cutting that loan short and bringing him back for the second half of the season. But I just can't see it happening because he's doing so well over there. It's working out so well on so many levels for everyone involved in that deal. Why would you bring him in now just to basically sit on the bench and maybe get a few minutes if needs be somewhere? I just can't see it happening. And I think his form and what he's doing this season is a perfect example of why he needs to stay and continue doing what he's doing. Get to the end of the season, come back in the summer, then everyone will assess where he is. Will he go out on loan again next season? Would he potentially get a Premier League loan move next season? Does he stay at the squad, or do Arsenal think, yeah, his value's now as high as it's ever going to be while he's here, let's cash in on him and move him on and get some profit? So whatever the outcome of it, it's just proven to be an excellent loan spell. So well done, Folarin Balogun. Great performance of him, which is good to see. Okay, Brighton tomorrow, team news-wise for that. Looking pretty good. Arsenal in good shape at the moment, as you would probably expect and hope, because they've had such a big break with the World Cup. Obviously, the key injuries to Gabriel Jesus, who we know about, and Emil Smith-Rowe, who is edging back. Still doesn't seem to be in and around the first team yet. Doesn't look like he's back training. He was at the game at the weekend, but he was watching in his clothes you saw him sort of milling around the touchline. But it doesn't seem like he is ready yet, which is a bit of a shame. But other than that, Arsenal looking good. Tomiyasu returned to training, which is a big, big boost. I think he's not going to come in and start by any means, but it's still a big, big boost, I think, for Arsenal that he's back, because he gives you that option. He's been very much used this season when he's been fit. He may not have started, but he's just been used. He's been coming on for the last 25 minutes. He's aerially, what he does is fantastic. And, Mykhaylo Arteta still sees him as a key player. So the fact he's back is great. Zinchenko's been training. I think Zinchenko's probably going to start tomorrow. As I said yesterday, I'd be surprised if he doesn't. So team news-wise, it's looking good for Arsenal. They're in good shape ahead of this game against Brighton. And hopefully that works out well in terms of what they do on the pitch. Predicted 11-wise, when you look at it, for me, I think it's pretty much, I'd be very surprised if it is not this team, unless there's been any injuries that we don't yet know about. But it'll be Ramsdale in goal, Ben White right back, Gabriel and Saliba the two centre backs. I think Zinchenko will come in as left back. Then it'll be Partey, Odegaard, Xhaka, Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli. I'd just be very surprised if it's not that team. Like I said, the only reason I could see Mikel Arteta moving away from that is if there's some injuries that we don't yet know about. So that's my predicted 11 for the game. Let me know what you guys think, as always, in the comments below. Who would you like to see start? And finally, before I go, we've got to do the daily dose of Mykhaylo Mudryk talk. There's been more comments from Shakhtar. They love a public comment when it comes to this deal, don't they? They do not shut up about it. Everyone seems to be having their say at that club, whether it's the CEO, the sporting director, the deputy sporting director. Everyone seems to be talking openly about it. And it's recently, yesterday, I think it was yesterday afternoon, these quotes dropped from the CEO, Sergei Palkin, who's been talking to the official Shakhtar website about Mudryk and a potential deal for him going this summer. He says, talks for Mudryk are on. We receive offers, but not the ones we would like to see on our table. I'll speak again to Arsenal. So yes, we are open to discussing fees and ideas. If we all agree, then let it be so. If we will not, then let it be another time. Now, literally in 5 minutes, I will have a phone conversation with Arsenal for the Mykhaylo Mudryk deal. It's a very public comments, as I said, from him. I mean, the quote there, he says, we receive offers, but not the ones we would like to see on our table. I mean, that's hardly a surprise. It's not rocket science when you're valuing a player at 100 million who hasn't played that much football and hasn't really been tested outside of in one of the top leagues in Europe's leagues. So it just feels totally unrealistic. He's a fantastic talent. He is a fantastic talent. And like I say, Shakhtar, they're well within their rights to demand whatever they want to demand because they're the selling club. He's got a contract. They hold the power in this situation. But it still feels like such an unrealistic fee that they are looking for him, as I've spoken before. And I don't think you can just point to Antony and to Grealish as markers for what they should be demanding just because Antony was overpriced. Everyone knows it. He's a good player, no doubt about it. He's done well, I think, since he's gone to Man United. But he was overpriced. You know, Ajax are laughing at that deal. Fantastic from them. They held out and they got that deal. Well done. Congratulations. Grealish was a release clause, so you can't really point to that either. It was slightly different. There was a release clause there. That's not market value. That's not exactly what you're valuing a player at. That was just a release clause that was put in to try and put clubs off, and it was only the fact that it was Man City, Moneybags Man City, who triggered it, that got the deal done. So I'm not sure you can point to that either. So I mean, I'm not surprised that these offers are arriving on the tables, but they're not the ones that Shakhtar wants to see. So we'll have to wait and see how these negotiations go. They are ongoing, as I've reported before. The talks are ongoing, as even Shakhtar have confirmed right there. So we'll see what Arsenal go to, whether that is enough, whether a compromise can be reached over initial fee, add-ons that can take it up to a further level. We shall wait and see. I hope it gets done. I want it to get done. I want him to be an Arsenal player, but we will have to see how the deal progresses over the coming days and potentially weeks, because the January transfer window isn't even open yet. Right, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate your time. As always, have a fantastic day today. Enjoy the game tomorrow. I will be there, so keep your eyes peeled for all the usual stuff from me as Arsenal end 2022 with a trip to Brighton. Speak to you soon, people.